We can start. Hey, what up? So, how you doing?
How you doing? It's Joshua King,
Tobin Childs.
Tobin Childs,
Zuki,
man.
Annual Infinite Fire.
Ashkenazi Jew
Burning
manifesting
wild and
channel.
deep. Once again.
Yeah, you heard it. So, we've come here today. This is our fourth take.
I thought you were
We
going to
got
say
some
this is 4th of
pretty,
July.
No, it's 5th of July, man. This hangover day for most of the world, most of America.
Hangover.
Not us, man. We're clear-headed,
Clear-minded.
feeling good, man.
Sobriety. Society.
Sunray vibes, right? So, anyway, yeah, we've done a couple takes, and what we wanted to talk about today is manifestation, right?
Yep.
I brought my buddy out, and he's the best person to talk about it with. Okay?
Yep.
He's on some good vibes. He knows what he's talking about.
Living in the light.
So I came out here so we could ask each other about this.
Move over a little bit. So
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
About this beautiful topic, right? So, let's start. I want to ask, what is manifestation? Why manifestation? What does it mean to you, Tobin? And I'll verse on this too.
Yeah.
We might go down the rabbit hole a little too. We're also big into the nutrition and diet, really, and how that the live it. We call it the live it. Idle. If you've heard of that, you're a little exposed to it already.
Yep.
But how that can deepen your spiritual life, and that has an effect on this as well. So, if we go a little into that, just bear with us. We're going down the wormhole together, and it's going to be a very interesting conversation, and hopefully you benefit.
No
so
doubt.
sit back, chill out, eat some fruit,
eat some popcorn. Get your popcorn.
Do what you gotta do.
Whatever you like, but
whatever you like.
We're not gonna judge you, man. Just
unless you eating top ramen, then like get out of here.
What? Really?
I'm just playing. No.
You're gonna scoot out the top ramen eaters?
Nah, man.
They too broke, man. They can't afford.
Everybody's welcome.
Bro.
Everybody's welcome.
Alright, so let's get into it. So, live to manifest. I'm just gonna ask you the first question, man.
Alright.
So, what is manifestation, and how do you manifest on a daily basis what you desire? And just describe to me just the basics. What is manifest? What does that mean?
That's a great question.
What does that mean?
Manifestation, that's bringing to reality something, in this context, from the human mind, right? To manifest something. So, and what that is, what we're talking about is manifesting consciously, right? Using your conscious mind to manifest the reality you want, okay? So instead of wishing and dreaming about the life you want, you bring these desires into reality through a sort of systematic approach, okay? And by that systematic approach, what I'm referring to is visualization, for one, and also action, okay? But usually it starts with visualization. You visualize what you want from your life, and you put your mind there, really, and you put your emotions there. You feel what it would feel like to have this. You really picture that.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt just to elaborate on that part.
Yeah, please do.
You said you visualize what you want. So, are you going into dream time? Is it something that you just do meditating, or what's the practice?
So yeah, I do this while awake. Sometimes I take a little bit of a meditative approach. There's a trick that someone called Abraham Hicks, a big law of attraction speaker, talks about, that I've implemented and kind of done my own way as well. But you can do for 17 seconds, or sometimes even as long as an hour. I'll put my clock on for an hour and just picture, just act as if, right? I'm gonna act as if I have what I want to manifest already. I'm gonna feel the feelings as if I already have it, right?
Okay.
Let's say hypothetically I wanted to be a CEO. For an hour, I would be like acting a role, right? I would be like that CEO. I
So
would
it'd
think
be
about
happening in your mind.
it would be happening in my mind as if it already
So
happened.
you're in like you're creating dream time and going into the future of your projected dreams.
Right. Because what happens is when you put yourself in this role, when you act as if, you find out what it's like to be that person, what actions would be taken, what thoughts and emotions would be felt, and therefore it's easier to get into that. And if you consistently do that, if you consistently act as if, eventually that's going to be your real self, right? If you act all the time, you're going to become that, okay? What you think you become, okay? Buddha talked about this, Jesus talked about this, lots of great thinkers.
So is manifestation, the law of attraction, the same?
Yes.
It's the same.
And it is. Well, the law of attraction is the law of manifesting, basically. Okay, it explains what it takes to manifest. And many different cultures, different people talk about the same thing, and they might use different words than the law of attraction. But a lot of it, I mean, it's all the same thing, really.
What's the opposite of the law of attraction?
That would be complacency. That would be living on autopilot and wishing you lived a certain life, but not being conscious of the fact that you can achieve it. You know, living with
fear,
with potential that's not met, with fear, and with regrets about not living where you want to be.
Is there a purpose to, so you don't want to attract everything into your life, you just want to attract the things you desire, but let's say you're on a law of attraction vibe and your mind is focused on, let's just say you want this new job, and you just imagine it as you were talking about being a CEO, but then you end up in a position and it's a terrible job, the people are corrupt, so then would you say that's how would you bring yourself into that, out of that? Or,
well, that's a good question, but that's how you manifest yourself into something else, right? Because the manifestation, this is a long journey, this is an ongoing thing. You don't just manifest once and then you're done. The funny thing about life is we're always new desires are brought forth to us.
Yeah.
And many of these desires are brought forth from when we get what we thought we wanted, but it wasn't exactly what we wanted. You may want a six-figure income, and you find out with that six-figure income that more problems occur.
That's
more
what
money,
I meant.
more problems,
more
right?
money, more problems,
So,
or more money, more options. More money, more opportunities. It's just like the flip sides of both.
So alongside the more opportunities, the more power to live the lifestyle you want. You may have more problems. You may attract more materialistic type people. So
what if people are doing the law of attraction, they're doing the visualization, and they're thinking about these things, but nothing's really popping off in their life? They say, well, I've been doing all the visualization, I watched The Secret.
It's simple, man.
It's not working.
Continue. Persistence. Don't give up.
Persistence.
You need to have, I like to say, need to have the mental strength of a Navy SEAL, man. Like have your mind trained for Hell Week. You're not going to give up on the first couple hours at Hell Week, not even the first day. You got to keep going, man. Your mind is used to habits.
Yeah.
So you need to break those habits, and that takes time, okay? So keep going. Even if you're a couple years in and there's something big that you're still trying to manifest, things can manifest quickly, and sometimes it takes divine timing, which there's a natural evolution of things, and you can speed it up with your manifestation, but sometimes you got to keep chipping away at it, and you might be closer than you think.
Can you give us an example?
You might be a lot closer than you think.
Josh, can you give us an example of what you've manifested in recent times that
definitely
you feel like, damn, like I really manifested this, and it's something positive? Or is a manifestation also, can it be negative? Like we were talking about how you could end up in a situation where man, I didn't think this is what I wanted, but I ended up in this situation.
Oh yeah, and you can manifest something that you don't like, you know, and like I said, you just continue from there. You manifest something out of that, right? Um, and you can manifest something negative because your thoughts are on a negative vibration all the time. So you're not going to manifest exactly what you're thinking about necessarily, in terms of if you're thinking, if you have a specific phobia and you're like, what if this happens? That
Right.
phobia probably won't come true, but things of that vibration will come true because you're constantly on that negative thinking pattern. And so you can manifest negative things if you're on a constant negative um, vibration. And also the rain falls on the righteous and the wicked, as it's said. So hard things happen to everybody, but it's what you do with it. Are you an alchemist? Can you turn this into a positive manifestation?
Right.
Or do you take it and do you let it destroy you, right?
Yeah.
So,
Can you give us
and
an
then some
example?
examples for sure.
So people can hear.
So I'll
what your
start with
personal-
like one of my big manifestations. I was very ill. I was bedridden. I was on an antidepressant
bedridden,
long
like you
time
were
ago.
in bed, not getting out of bed at all.
At times. Well, I was getting out of bed sometimes, but on my days off, I wouldn't.
Damn.
But just to get to work, and I white knuckled it farther than most would, and it probably wasn't healthy that I was doing that at all.
Describe that white
That
knuckle.
I was still going to
What's
work.
that phrase mean?
White knuckling means just powering through, man. Like,
Okay.
just getting through. So
you're on the bare knuckle is kind of what that means.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so I would have to drink a couple cups of coffee just to have the energy to like feel safe enough to drive to work, and then I'd just be kind of chugging coffee to get throughout the work day. This is back when I was a dishwasher, and I'd just be chugging coffee to get through it. And on my days off, I'd just be sitting in bed. And so
How'd you get out of that rut?
So about 2.5 years ago, I stumbled upon the law of attraction, and I visualized myself well, right? I visualized myself walking around feeling good, no more muscle pains, like just feeling mentally well because I had a lot of brain fog and stuff. I visualized all this stuff, like me being well, doing what I want to do, not flaking on people because I didn't feel well, being able to exercise without feeling hurt. And then I stumbled upon Dr. Sebi videos, and so I attribute my healing to this diet I'm on. But if it weren't for the law of attraction,
on the Dr. Sebi diet?
Yeah, I got on the
Alkaline.
Dr. Sebi diet, and that healed me, and it really expanded my consciousness. Because one thing that's not said enough is like when you change your diet to a proper diet of like whole foods, especially a lot of raw fruits and vegetables. It doesn't have to be all raw fruits and vegetables, but if you're hitting those raw fruits a lot, it changes you spiritually, mentally, physically.
Word.
It's like I can't even
It's magical.
begin to explain it. It's magical, man. And people don't talk about this enough. It's crazy.
What do they not talk about enough?
The spiritual and mental effects, and physical, of course, too, but the spiritual and mental effects of a proper diet.
So do you feel
You're waking
that
up your brain with channels it's never used before.
Right. So you feel like that's a foundation to manifest, is to have a proper diet?
I can say confidently, because I know people on these diets, that they start manifesting at a much better level with these diets. You need your your body vessel, your temple to be operating correctly to reach these channels of God, to reach these manifestations.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can do it without it. Anything's possible, but it's a lot easier and much more powerful when your vessel is cleaned out.
So law of attraction, so I know what this means is, so attraction means the current of energy coming to you.
Is what you're attracting.
Correct.
So whatever vibration you're on.
So
you're like a magnet. We're all magnets putting out a vibration of energy.
Receiving energy, or receiving something that's coming from some kind of outside source. So it's coming to you, but you are visualizing it from internal, and then it comes out externally by, it's a magnet from your own visualization. That's what you're saying?
Right. So kind of you're priming. Maybe not exactly, but you're priming your subconscious to believe you are something that you're yet to be. But you prime your subconscious to believe it, and you become that, right?
Yeah.
The more you prime it, the more
so
you become it.
Are there words, are there writings or affirmations or mantras that you do that come with law of attraction, or how does that go?
There's you can do affirmations that are great, and you can choose your own, and whatever you want to do. Like,
so it's
I'll give you an
flexible.
example. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I'm trying to manifest a lot of money, and it's in the books. So what I did, I aimed to get 200,000 by the end of this year. So what I did,
that's big money.
It's big money. I was dreaming big. So
by the end of 2020,
I took a $20. Yeah. It's already on its way. But okay, so what I did, I got a $20 bill, and after the 20, right, I put comma 000, and then I put it under like my decorated like glass rocks, these like art rocks basically, just to hold it down there, and I see that every day in my room. So that's priming my subconscious that that's the direction I'm going, you know.
Right. Okay. So
and so I have projects in the mix right now.
So it's a little bit of magic that's in it with your visuals. So the visualization not just in your brain, it's also something you can do on an altar or some kind. Like you said, you have a $20 bill, you put rocks over it, and you.
Yeah. So
you
can do things like vision boards.
Okay.
And just mental reminders like pictures and stuff to help you, and affirmations to help you remember where you're going, and prime your subconscious continuously to get the results that you want to get, right?
So do you have any questions that you want to ask me about about this topic with manifestation?
Yeah, man, what is manifestation to you, and where does it come into place, like on the human journey, on your purpose,
right,
and all that, right?
Yeah, well, I like to decode the words and kind of break them down. So manifest, manifest. So the word man is, I'm serious though, this is some real talk right here.
No, I'm listening.
Man is the prime word that's when we break it down by syllable, fest, which is, I don't know exactly what that means, but when you put them together, so basically I look at it as like manifest is coming from the masculine energy, so like,
okay, of creation,
yeah, of creation, purpose. Right? So manifesting comes from more of a yang perspective, like, you're manifesting, but I see it as different as the law of attraction, because the law of attraction to me is more of the yin, because attracting something is a receptive state.
I can see that, and I know, a lot of people think of it that way.
But they are balanced.
But there's different terms that people use.
Yeah, there's just terms.
Like Abraham Hicks would talk about that same thing, but she would call it receptive mode. So you're in a mode where you're relaxing and you're letting the things magnetize to you.
Well, that's a lot of the yogis and sadhus. They do a lot of. Ooh.
I feel like I got bit. One of those grass bites.
Those buggies. But yeah, like the sadhus and yogis, that's their whole piece, is attracting something to them without them having to do the hustle and bustle as we do in the West.
And that's an important component that I talk about on my channel too. But I'll let you.
Right. So, but okay. So what I was saying was, so yeah, I mean, the way that I've broken it down is there's manifest and will manifest. So it just on a woman will manifest. So that's why I'm telling you, I'm breaking down the words into those kind of parts.
Let me just interrupt real quick.
Yeah.
Think about Tobin. He creates his own language.
Yeah.
Based on spiritual principles and his own kind of experiences.
Exactly.
Which is really cool, because your words create your reality.
Exactly.
One thing I've learned when hanging with him is like I watch my words, because some of the words we have in today's lingo kind of point to, for lack of a better word, low vibration, or is just not like the word sick. Like sick is supposed to be cool. That's sick, right?
Yeah, that's sick.
So
that's
like ill, like how is ill?
You don't want to be ill.
Good. You don't want to be ill. You want to be well, right?
Yeah, so
and
I'm
like
well.
we said
I'm
on this live it, not a diet,
Yeah,
because we're
exactly.
living. We're not dying from this.
Exactly.
This is bringing us life. So with that, all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Yeah, thanks for that additional.
Mhm.
I'm all about being a creator. So creating your own language based on what you already know. So just as for example, the word manifest, I wanted to add it with womanifest. So the way that I see it is that you're using the woman energy, which is more about the attracting and like using emotions and water,
the receptivity,
and the feminine energy.
Yeah.
Whereas manifest to me is more action oriented, more fire related, more on that it's like it's a different vibration, but they both have their purpose. But yeah, I feel like it's on a personal note, the best way that I've learned to manifest things is to write them down. So I'm about visualization too. Yeah.
I'm trying to get in the angle. Working with this tiny tripod here.
I'm about the visualization, but I'm also about like having a notebook. So bringing a composition notebook with you wherever you go. Having a little notebook if you have some ideas or you have something that comes in your head, and creating your own words of power and affirmations where you can manifest those things, and being specific. So you can start off broad, like, oh, I want a beautiful woman in my life, or I want a beautiful man, or you can say I want a really nice house.
Yeah, sometimes starting general helps, because you don't know
broad. You don't know exactly.
You don't know how it's gonna fill out, and that's some of the beauty. Because sometimes I know one speaker. Shout out to Jake Ducey. Anyway, he talks about, like, what he says is this or something better. So he's trying to manifest what he's visualizing, or if not, sometimes the universe has a slightly better idea for what we actually want, like in our soul. You know, sometimes our ego wants something, but our soul wants something deeper.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, this or something better. So
the soul wants something deeper, and even when you visualize something, it's may not come out exactly as you picture, but it could be even way better.
It could be way
better, but it's also can be a lot more challenging than you imagine. Like for example, for me, when I wanted to will manifest a partner, a partner, meaning a love partner, a woman. I pictured it in the way that I want a woman, all the like certain features, and kind of write those things down, and qualities. But I didn't. But I also, there's so much. I was very ignorant of the way of a woman, because there's so much to learn when you're with another person, that as much as you can fantasize, imagine, and we've been brainwashed by Hollywood and all the movies about sex and relationships and all that.
Yeah, it's a big topic
for
us.
Even when we know we're the ones that are like, we're free thinkers, like we're all being brainwashed by the media about love and all that. So it still like seeps in our subconscious, so we have to deprogram from that. And not project that with our manifestations. Like, don't get the manifestations of what the media thinks you need. Like, oh, I need a huge big mansion, I need a Lamborghini, I need chains that are fucking with diamonds and gold on it. Like,
even if you're conscious of that going on, that the media is bad, it's still hard, man. You're bombarded with it from every direction.
Even the strongest of souls
like living in this society.
There's TVs,
you gotta be
every social pressure is around you. So
everywhere, man. You talk to somebody that,
everyone's susceptible to some level of the programming, but you also have to be able to strengthen your boundaries and your
Yeah.
shields, energetic
You need
shields
to protect yourself.
with
Yeah.
the amount of deception, the perception deception, because of a lot of what we've been taught and stuff that they want us to implant in our brains, like this is what matters, material things matter.
There are entities, let's say like corporations, that benefit off of us by staying at low vibrations because it's good for business.
Yeah, and they also, like, the other thing is they want you to think that like, let's just say, like, certain people may say, oh, it's about manifestation, but they only come from material wealth, which is important.
Right.
I'm not saying that it's really important to have material wealth in this world, but a lot of the times people just focus on material in the Western mind. That's what matters is, oh, I want a big house, oh, I want a nice car, oh, I need 2 kids or 3. It's like that's very limiting to me. Instead, you should be like trying to manifest, not trying, but putting your power in manifesting things of substance that really matter on a deep soul core level, like having good friendships, having good relationships with people, having communities, having a self-respect, and having creative outlet where your music is expressed, all these different things. To me, those are things that matter for me. I mean, not to say like you shouldn't put value into material things, like I want to have a nice house, I want to have a nice car, but like those things are secondary to
it's
the
not gonna last
state.
And once you get there, you're just gonna want to manifest something else,
because the Beatles said money can't buy you love.
It's not quenching your soul's thirst.
Yeah. Money can't buy you love, but it can buy you a diamond ring. So
that's good, man. That's good.
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, and then also just being open to the universe and being able to be like, I'm not 100%, I'm in control, but I know there's forces of the universe, like my ancestors and my spirit guides, that are also part of helping me through the journey. Like I don't have to just, like, you have to kind of relieve your own ego and your mind, like what you think you want or desire. Like sometimes you have to also relieve some of your own, like, mental drive, not and give, and not say like give it to like some gods and stuff like that, but know that there's other divine aspects of life that are part of molding us.
You're in co-creation with the universe, right? Or God, whatever you like to say.
Yeah.
Like it's not just your power. I like what Rumi says, like what you're seeking is seeking you as well,
Exactly.
So there's forces outside of you
that are seeking.
Like, you do the visualization, you use all these tools to get the ball in motion and to pull from your own power, but there's powers around you and within the universe that are cooperating with you, okay? Because we're energy, just like the universe. Like we are the universe,
We're basically
when you throw a rock in a pond, it sends ripples that reach the whole pond, right? I mean, it's the same thing. Once you think something, you think one thing, and like the universe is shifting itself
it's
according to your thoughts. And there's even scientific studies, and I'm talking science, not just like some hippy dippy crap, that's like is proven that
quantum physics
that like what we're thinking has implications in physical reality. So physical manifestation is a real, like, scientific thing based on where we're at in our mind.
Well, when you're in the 5th dimension, your thoughts are physical, so there's not even a separation. It's just like you have a visualization, it's actually happening. Like you're saying, the visualization.
Is that what the 5th dimension is?
That's from what I know. I mean, from my experience, when you go,
I don't know a whole lot about that.
When you go into dream time, like let's just say when you go into dream time at night, I mean, how do we know this isn't really happening? Is it really happening? Is it our subconscious? Like, I think it's a mixture of both. Like, it's our subconscious, it's our brain, but I think our thoughts are real, so real to the point where they're actually happening and they have physical realities. Like you're saying, the thought creates the physical, and then the thought is the physical because that's where it comes from. So, like, as we know, the universe is not even a solid matter. You know, everything is energy. So, and thoughts are energy. So it's just a different density. So really think or feel about it. The thought is just the first, is like a level of energy that comes from the mental, and then as you get lower and denser, it goes to the physical, like your body and then the grass. And, you know,
Okay.
the sun. That's fucking great. Yeah.
I feel that.
That's wild. So what else? What else are we gonna talk about right now?
What else we gotta talk about, man? We're
Let's talk
30
about the
minutes
sun.
deep. Let's get some
Let's talk about
sunshine,
the sun.
man.
Yeah, let's talk about the sun. Just
Sunshine.
get into some basics that everybody can.
First off, get your butt in the sun. Yeah. So
actually getting your butt, like your ass
So-
cheeks in the sun. Well, I think you should probably expose as much of your body as you can.
that meme about like is making fun of like new age people with like charging your butthole in the sun rays or something.
No,
It's pretty funny.
There's a
That's
real,
not a literal thing, but
there's actually
but-
Taoist teachings that tell you to do that. So
to
that
charge your butt in the sun?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, dude, your
What?
butt and your genitals. It's like, like I've read of this book that was about the Tao of sexology, and I'm for real.
No, I mean
this-
I believe it, but
I'm telling you, man. Like, there's some people that it's hippy dippy, but I mean, if you're really serious about,
hey, but hippy dippy, a lot of hippy dippy shit is real.
there's
I just like to talk about that because I know there's people out there that make this like sacred, awesome knowledge into this cutesy like new agey stuff, and I don't think it reaches the masses well enough because there's a place to mix science and these principles.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. It's like you need
So-
the logical side,
And
you need the
that's why I can
imaginative
relate to
side.
Tobin is we're on the same trip, but like I don't know,
Yeah,
we're,
like,
we're skeptical
we're
about the
out
knowledge that comes to us.
Yeah, no
We don't
doubt.
just take it because some
guru comes in the picture.
some guru talked about this
Some
stuff, you
guru
know,
talks
or it's
about
like
the
some guy who
diet.
believes in chakras suddenly because he believes in chakras, everything he says is like real or something like that, you know.
Well, let's get back. Let's just get to the sun of the basics.
Let's get to the sun. Do you want to start?
Yeah. So I would say okay. So for instance, I've been sunbathing and sun gazing for I don't know, like about 6 years. About when I started, to become vegan, I started to realize how powerful the sun is. And not only was it a connection, but it was a remembrance of who I was. It was a remembrance of the sun people and the people who lived on the sun and people who got all their knowledge and power and wisdom from the solar light, and then how technology and all of the power of electricity was all generated through the solar energy. So the sun may have been a source of not only the nourishment for the earth and the plants, but also a power source for the technology and the ancient civilizations such as ancient Kemet and the Mayan civilizations with their pyramids. I mean, how do we know these pyramids weren't conductors of electricity through the sun? I mean, why were they pointed in that way? And it's just a lot of stuff we don't really 100% know. We can like study it and we can look at the past, but really I think it's hard to know through the different books that people have written as time progresses. Like history can be skewed because it's written by someone else. So I feel like the history is all in your DNA, and DNA gets activated through exposure to the sun. And what you notice is with the amount of sun people aren't exposed to, and how much people are losing their vibration and color, we know it's the diet is related to it and other things, but if you just look at how much of the conspiracy is just keeping people from being exposed to the light and sun and air, then that should just show you why people are so sick. You know, it's like if you can't even handle the sun for 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and it's making you
That's
nauseous
another thing, man. Is
and like sick.
we're taught the sun causes.
No, this kid was saying you're gonna get cancer, because that's a myth that you get cancer from being in the sun.
There's this kid that I walk by on my route a lot. See, like Tobin, man, I'm out there in the sun all day when I get a chance, right? When I'm not working, when I'm not working, basically, I save my projects till night, usually if I can, so I could get rays. If I'm out catching the rays, man, for hours, you know, all day, man. Because it hits my pineal gland, which we'll get into.
Pineal gland.
It's a amazing mood enhancer.
Oh yeah.
And physical health. You get charged up from it, man.
I feel like, so happy when I'm in the sun.
I feel so physically energized and happy.
Yeah.
Like, spend a day at the beach, like all day, and try not to smile at the end of the day. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
How are you gonna be mad unless
yeah.
you're eating like hella garbage food?
Exactly.
But then there's a lot of people talking about the breath work. So I mean, we can get onto that afterwards. But,
yeah.
We'll
so
go in a little more about the sun, though.
There's this kid that I walk by on my routes, and he saw us at the river today, and he's like, "Hey, weren't you that guy I saw walking or whatever?" I was like, "Yeah," and he said, "Don't get skin cancer like out in the sun or whatever." And we just started telling him about, you know, that it's not the sun that causes cancer. The sun can be a catalyst, but it's if you have an acidic diet, if you have an acidic lifestyle, if you're a heavy cigarette smoker, if you eat garbage, you know, if you drink a lot, and then you go out in the sun, and it's not just the sun, it's if you get sunburnt, okay? Because the cancer is coming from like the burns, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you're an avid sunbather, you'll realize like there's a point where you start to get a little red, and you say, okay, that's enough for now. Like, I'm gonna go catch some shade, or I'm done for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get tan, and you could go out longer and longer and longer. Eventually, you can be out there all day, and it's no problem. Also, if you eat an alkaline diet, an ITAL diet, whatever you want to call it, you're not gonna get burned nearly as easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So the whole skin cancer thing, it's very exaggerated and it's misleading, and the reason why it's sad is because the sun is like the giver of life. Mm-hmm. You look at the northern climates, okay? The farther north you go, like go to Alaska, there's far less diversity of wildlife as there is in the Amazon.
Absolutely.
In the Amazon, there's so much diversity of birds. He's been there to the equator, man.
It is
the equator
wild.
energy is powerful.
So powerful.
So, because we're tropical beings, and we'll get into that too.
Yeah.
But the further you go up north, like there's less species of trees. Eventually, you get far up north. It's like it's not a whole lot of trees.
You're not gonna eat.
It's not a whole lot of diversity of species. There's not a whole lot of fruit.
You're gonna be an Eskimo.
So in the equator, there's a whole lot of diversity of species. There's fruit that grows year round.
Everything's in the jungle.
Everything. That's the epicenter of life right there. So
that's why they say the Amazon's the lungs of the earth, because there's so much wildlife and trees
and it's huge, man.
And it's huge.
So yeah, that's why it's sad. The sun is the giver of life. It feeds the plants. It feeds the animals. It feeds us. The sun is actually a food source. You can, if you sunbathe a lot, you might be less hungry. You might need less calories to sustain yourself. Mm-hmm. It charges you up. We don't live on food alone.
That's right.
We live on sunshine too. And not to mention, every single part of the body needs sunshine, okay? And the sun, if you've ever seen a rainbow, the sun encompasses
all the colors
of the rainbow. We need each color for a specific part of the body. And that's real science that's been proven, okay? Like, I don't know the specifics. We might need green for our liver, red for our brain, whatever it is. But we need the sun's light coming into our eyeballs, to the pineal gland.
That's where it receives the most
light. The third eye.
Through the eyeballs.
I'm sure you've heard about the third eye.
Yeah.
And it's mystified a lot, but it's a real thing. It's our pineal gland, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this. Can I just stop you for a second?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
going.
go for it. Yeah, go
No,
for it.
I was gonna ask. Okay, so you're talking about the sun in terms of you're gonna get darker and like you're gonna get more of a tolerance. But what would you say to the people who, okay, so with different genetics and different blood types and all this kind of stuff. So let's say you're from Ireland and your skin is white as a ghost. You know, you can't get tan, you get burned. Do you think you can get tanner and tolerate the sun more if you're eating more of an alkaline mucus list?
Nah, you're screwed. You might as well give up.
You're kidding.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, man. Even though you got very white, pale skin genetics, possibly red hair, like it
don't matter.
Don't matter. You start where you start, okay?
You
It's
still
just
gotta
like,
love yourself. I mean, that's the bottom line.
of course.
I mean, yeah, like, because there's so much self-hate based on, oh, I'm too white or oh, I'm too black. It's like,
no.
You just gotta love yourself with where you at.
Yeah, skin color doesn't matter.
No.
And diversity is beautiful.
It is, exactly. It's beautiful.
But so yeah, like if you're very pale, start off sunbathing whereas someone darker might start off sunbathing for an hour, you start off 20 minutes. And then you'll get a little tanner. And then you can go out longer once you get that tan. Once you get more tan, you go out longer, and
it's also about the times of day when you do get in the sun. So like if you're going in the sun in the middle of the day, 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, it's going to be very hot. Depending again on
depending on where you are too.
What's where you're at,
latitude and all that.
Latitude and what
starts
time
to get
of summer.
Sometimes the peak around like 5 p.m. here in the summer.
Yeah.
Because we're up here north in the northwest, so.
Yeah, it's the peak. Feels like the peak right now, but it's not super hot where you feel you're starting to sweat and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying it doesn't matter what your skin color is, you can get the benefits from the sun.
You get the benefits no matter what skin color you are. The sun is still the giver of life.
What if you're in a place that you don't get as much sun?
Then you get sun when you can.
Yeah.
And you eat food from the sun.
Or you move where there's more sun.
Or you move where there's more sun if you can, you know?
We don't live in a place that gets sun year-round.
Humans are actually tropical species.
So are you saying that we're not in our natural climate right now?
We're not in our natural climate, and that's not to say everyone has to move. Like I do like where I'm at. It's beautiful out here, and there's duality and everything. There's pros and cons, but naturally as a species, we're tropical species that can adapt. So as a species, we adapted to northern climates, but that's not where we thrive the most. You know, we're not.
We thrive in the jungle.
We thrive in the jungle. We're meant for places where you don't need heating systems in your home.
Yeah, but wait till you get to the jungle, because a lot of people. It's
very powerful energy.
It can knock you out.
Yeah.
I'm serious, especially when you're like coming from Northwest or even California. California is super mild. Go from California and go to Central America or South America. You're gonna get like a way different type of sun that's coming down on you. It's very. It can get
so
very
you gotta
hot.
want that. Not everybody wants that.
Oh, I love that.
But I love that.
Wake
I
up,
love that, man.
It's so hot.
But I love
morning.
that because at a level I know that we're built for that. That's where we thrive, you know?
Yeah.
And just falling in love with the sun, I've gained appreciation for these places where the sun is at home.
Is there a benefit to cold weather on the physiology?
Yeah, see, I haven't explored that much, but I know a lot of people like Wim Hof, I believe, and other people have talked about, you know, cold ice showers and all these things that wake up your physiology, wake up the blood flow, I think, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not one to get into that. It doesn't sound very pleasant.
Jump in the cold bath.
But at the same time, if you like doing that, that's cool, and you use what you got, you know? If you're in Sweden and it's winter and you want some kind of you're not seeing the sun, you need some kind of power to wake that physiology up. Use that ice if you need to.
That's what I do.
So
I'm a more of a sun person, but when it snows here, I want to go out and just connect with nature all the time. So
yeah, and I want to connect with nature regardless of the elements out there.
Yeah, you gotta just be,
because it's so good for you. It's needed. It's really needed.
Yeah. All right, so let's hit the next topic.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Let's get a little knowledge on some herbs.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit about foods, and
I don't think we have talked about food.
But we haven't talked enough.
You just talked about alkaline.
We haven't
diet.
talked enough because there's so much to talk about. I mean, it's like it's become our life, you know. It's the most important thing in our life. It's because it sets you on a different mindset. It changes your life. You hear about in like mainstream kind of thought of nutrition that like, oh, I'm just trying to be healthy, so you know, I don't know, so I could lose some weight, look a little better, or run this marathon or something. And that's fantastic. But there's so much more to that. Like, when you change your diet, you change your mindset. I know a lot of people, myself included, it's like there's less like anger, less aggression. You're just calmer. And I don't know exactly what that is. I guess the brain is being fed. What's the staple?
Yeah.
So
just to give people what.
Okay.
The names of what food. What's the food? What's the name?
So
just name a couple of things you've eaten today.
Today, man, what have I eaten? I ate some juice with orange.
Some
acerola
juice with
cherry.
Orange?
It's a mixed juice with acerola cherry. I think that's how you pronounce it. Some oranges.
Is it something you made or is it something from the store?
This is from New Seasons.
Okay.
I expect a commission from that. Shout out. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, acerola cherry, orange juice, a bunch of other fruit. Right? I had blueberries. I had sunflower seeds. I had date rolls with pecans.
Man, those were fire.
Those were good.
Yeah.
Those were really good. And I had what's up, guys?
What up?
We got cut off there a little. Something happened with the camcorder.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to end properly. So if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to comment on this video on the Live to Manifest channel or
Infinite
Fire channel. We're going to post them on both. I'm going to post his link in the description.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. There will be more coming down the pipe. And this was Raw Uncut. And I hope you're having a great 2020 quarantine bullcrap. We're going to enjoy the sunshine and peace.
Peace be with you. May the forces of good destroy the forces of evil on your path.
Yeah, something like that.